Shalom and welcome to Seder Soundbites. After we finish benching, we finish Birkat HaMazon. Before we say Shafot Chamatcha, there is a custom to fill up a glass of wine for Eliyahu Hanavi, which is then placed on the table. And then as we begin preparing ourselves to say Shafot Chamatcha, usually one of the guests at the Seder table will get up and will go to the front door. They'll open the front door while everybody recites the verses of Shafot Chamatcha. An interesting question. Where does this custom come from? Why do we open our front door? What are we doing? Well, the two, I think, most common answers to this question are, first, we just poured Eliyahu Hanavi a glass of wine. And it would be a real shame if he couldn't drink it. So we go to the front door to invite him in so that he can taste from the wine of redemption. The other most common explanation is that Leil HaSeder, Seder night, is considered, the Torah tells us, to be Leil Shimurim. It's a night of divine protection. So much so that from a halachic perspective, we actually don't say Kriyat Shema al Hamida, the Kriyat Shema, the verses of Shema that we say just before bed, because we don't see that we need the extra divine protection that is provided from Kriyat Shema, because the night itself has inherent within it the divine protection that we need for the evening. However, there's another really interesting idea which this custom might allude to. If you can imagine, if you can go back in your minds 2,500 years, when the temple was erect, when the temple stood in Yerushalayim, many people, what they would do is they would have their Korban Pesach, the actual Korban, and they would eat it together, either as a single family or with all of their neighbors as multiple families together. They would finish eating the Korban Pesach, and just as they were finished eating, then the next step of the Seder would be to go to say Hallel. And we know, if we look at our Haggadah, right after we finish our meal, we have benching, we have Shafot Chamatcha, and then we have Hallel. So what would people do? Well, in the times of the temple, many people would open their front doors, they'd leave their houses, they'd climb up to their rooftops, and they would sing beautiful, beautiful, beautiful songs, passionate songs, full of joy, full of dancing. They would sing the Hallel on their rooftops together with the entire Jewish congregation, the entire Jewish community of Yerushalayim. If you could imagine that you were looking at the scene from a bird's eye view, what you would see looking down is every single rooftop in Jerusalem full of people singing praises, singing the Hallel to Hashem, dancing, being absolutely full of joy. Perhaps this custom, this idea of opening our front door, is also meant to remind us and to prepare us for our own recitation of the Hallel. That even though it's late at night and even though that we're tired, Hallel's not meant to be sped through, but we should take our time. We should say it with passion, with intent, with joy, and with song. That we should attach ourselves to the verses, to the meaning of the verses, and find hope, and find peace, and find simcha in the songs of the Hallel.